Hi, I'm Russell at Karakoram. I'm here to show you how to set up your Karakoram Split30 Splitboard System. Inside the box, you'll find your warranty card, your instruction manual, your interface kit, one left binding, and one right binding. There are 3 different types of split boards that are compatible with the binding system. Factory boards that come standard with the Karakoram board clips, factory boards that don't come standard with board clips, and DIY boards. The system achieves the highest possible riding performance by creating a seamless, rigid connection between the 2 halves of your split board. The Karakoram board clips are an essential contributor to optimal riding performance. On boards that come with the board clips, what you need is the binding system that comes with bindings and interface. On boards that don't come standard with clips, you need to get board clips, the binding system, and on DIY boards, you need the board clips, the DIY kit that comes with templates, tip and tail clips, and then your binding system. To give you an introduction to the bindings and the system, toe stay and heel stay. You have your right binding and your left binding. Your toe stay and your heel stay are the 2 components you're going to be using to attach the bindings to the board in both ride mode and tour mode. This is your ride mode interface, your toe attachment and your heel attachment, right and left. You can tell which is the right and left by the side of the tab on your toe attachments. You have your tour mode interface, heel lockdown dual riser bases, standard climbing wires, short climbing wires. The short wires are sold as a separate accessory. You have 10 M6 by 8mm button head screws. You have 4 M6 by 8mm flat head screws and 4 M6 by 10mm button head screws. The tools you're going to need are a standard M4 Allen wrench and a standard Phillips screwdriver. Alright, to install your tour mode interface, you need your M6 by 8mm button head screws. And to tighten these, you just get to the point where it's tight, give it a 1/4 turn. Install the heel lockdown dual riser. Get your wires in. You're going to need your M6 by 10mm button heads. Same thing, just 1/4 turn past tight. To install the ride mode interface on the split board, first thing I'm going to do is figure out my stance width. So I'm going to run 23 inches wide. And what I do, take my heel attachment and I find my angle. And I'm going to run about 18 degrees positive in the front. I'm going to take my M6 by 8mm flathead screws. Just going to be careful not to strip anything. There's my angle. And on this one, I'm going to tighten it all the way down. I'm going to get to a hard point and just give it about 1/8 of a turn. Okay, now I take my toe attachment and I'm going to use my rest of my M6 by 8mm button head screws. And these ones, I'm just going to thread in just a few threads and not make it all the way tight so that the toe attachment can still swivel. And what I do is I take the binding and I use the binding to line up the toe attachment. I tighten it through the binding. And I tighten it the rest of the way down. Now I'm going to look at my spacing and how the binding is fitting. And what I'm finding is that there's too much space between the rear screw and the tab. You can see the distance here. What we want is that screw to be bumping into the tab. So what I have to do is use my Phillips screwdriver and adjust the front plastic block on my toe attachment. These blocks are designed to accommodate the hole spacing variation between manufacturers. The standard is 3 3/8 plus or minus a 1/16 of an inch. Still have a little bit of space. The initial break-in on the brand new interface. Very nice solid snap. And you can see that on both sides of the binding, these screws are bumping into the tab. Nice and tight, but not too tight. So now I look at my spacing and how the binding's fitting. On this one, I'm noticing that things are a little too tight. The screw is coming in contact with the tab, but it's just a little bit too tight. So what I'm going to do is with my Phillips, loosen this a little bit. Just slide this adjustment block back. The binding is squeezing the board together. And as you can see, the seam pin is engaged with the toe attachment. Everything's working smoothly. Okay, I'm going to show you the split board changeover. First thing I do is open my lock block, open my binding lever. Same on the other side. Undo my tip clips, my board clips. Open my tour mode levers. Nestle the axle of the binding into the tour mode. Use the binding to close the lever. Last little snap cam over to lock it. Move my ride stride from ride mode to walk mode. Got my short wire, the tall wire, and to activate the heel lockdown, pop the wire forward, open my binding lever, close the lever, so always make sure to pop it back. Now you're in tour mode. Back to ride mode. Disengage your tour mode. Flip the skis back over to board. Gauge my board clips. Tip and tail clips. Drop the axle of the binding into the toe attachment. Binding rotates into the heel attachment. Close the lock block. Flip the ride stride back to ride mode for positive forward lean. Same on the other binding. Your nice snap. Ready to shred.